everyone, Elise here from TGG Gaming at the first ever TGG Regional in South Dakota. We're in Aberdeen, I think. Who are you and how do you do today?
Hi, my name is Matt Tietjen. I did pretty well. I got third place, got my cool little deck box and my invite, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. And what deck did you play today?
I played the Tenyi Swordsoul Adventure Rose Dragon.
Yep.
I like to call it Dungeons and Dragons because, yeah, I'm a nerd. So.
Right. Any other shout-outs or anything you want to get out of the way before we start the profile?
Yeah,
or?
sure. Shout-outs to my friends who were willing to drive to Aberdeen, South Dakota with me, and honestly, shout-outs to TGG, right?
Yep.
For hosting this event. It's really cool. I've been missing in-person play for quite a while, so we'll get into it without further ado. Okay, so first here we will start with the Tenyi cards. For the sake of the deck, we're just running 3 Ashuna, 3 Vashuda, 3 Adhara, and then a couple copies of the Dragon Cycle. So pretty basic on what they do. They're all free special summons from hand if you don't control an effect monster, and then they have different effects. He summons a Tenyi from deck, bounces a card on the field, and adds a Banished Worm to your hand. And this card becomes Rhoda plus Foolish Burial if you control a non-effect monster.
Was there any reason not to play 3?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I only found 2 before the event, so 2 worked great today. It's a hard once per turn, so you don't want to draw multiples of it, and I never saw more than 1 in my hand.
That works.
Next, we'll go into the rest of the worm monsters. We're running 1 Moyi, 1 Taiye, and 1 Longyun for the Swordsoul monsters. Basically, you don't really want to see these 2 in your opener. We are playing the Rite of Amnesia stuff, which shuts off your normal summons effects. Main goal, you just want to summon him off Yazi and plus a bunch. And then him, he actually is kind of nice to draw. Sometimes he's one of those surprise little extenders that helps you push for damage. And then we're also playing the 1 Blackout, searchable off Chi-Chow, the level 8 Synchro.
Yep.
Yeah, and next we'll go into the Rose Dragon engine of the deck. 3 Red Rose, 1 Rocks Rose, and 1 Basil Rose Shoot. Normal summoning this and our special summoning a Tenyi normal summoning this is full combo, which ends on a pretty crazy board with like Baron, Blackout, Chi-Chow, and some other disruptions depending on what the rest of your hand looks like. I really like the list because your end board changes a lot based on what your hand is, and it kind of keeps you on your toes. So other brick, I guess, with the Hulk engine 001 or Aurodon, don't need to say much more there. And next we will get into the adventure stuff. 3 copies of Water Enchantress, 1 Griffin Rider, not much to say, just good cards. 3 Rite of Amnesia, and I opted to play 2 Fateful Adventure. When you are breaking an adventure board, sometimes getting rid of Fateful completely shuts off any follow-up they have. So being able to have the second one in deck to activate off of right really keeps you going in a grind game. And it's not a terrible card to draw because it gets you a 7, and if you open a 7 plus a Red Rose, it's full combo. And then the 1 Draco back who loves to be glued to my opening hands. And lastly here, we'll go into the hand traps and some of the other tech. We're running 1 Token Collector. It's good, this format. Main reason I was main decking it was to send it off Riser Dragon. Didn't send it off Riser Dragon today because I didn't play a lot of mirror matches. Next we got 3 Ash, 3 Ghost Ogre, and 3 copies of Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. So the idea behind this was I wanted an effect veiler that was level 3 and a tuner, because if you see the adventure engine or one of your Tenyis, it makes Baron super easy. And Baron's kind of the lifeblood of the deck that helps you play through a lot of those hand traps.
Weird.
And honestly, morning was good. There wasn't a lot of normal summons I wish I had Veiler for or anything today. And yeah, performed pretty well. Got in some nice burn damage, which this deck does a lot of. So lastly, 3 E-Telly, Goes with Ghost Ogre, goes without saying. Level 3 tuners are good. And 1 Foolish Burial. To wrap up the main deck there.
How many cards were in the main deck?
45. I tried to cut it down the best I could, but I wanted to play at least 10 hand traps. I might consider running like Nibiru, or honestly Effect Veiler would probably be just fine as well. Maybe bump it up to 50 or something like that if I'm feeling crazy. Extra deck, we'll start with the 2 Monk of the Tenyi. Great in the grind game, great if you open a really Tenyi heavy hand. 2 Crystron Halk Fibrax. This card is not okay and should probably be put to 1 or banned. Hot take though, right? and then the 1 Auroradon for the 001 Hulk combo. Yeah, and on a pretty nutty end board with like Herald of the Arclight and stuff like that, if you open well enough. Next for the Synchro monsters in the deck, 1 Formula Synchron and 1 Shooting Riser Dragon. Formulas just for if you end on Hulk with your board, lets you turn things like Chi Chao into a Baron on your opponent's turn, or you can make Chang Ying or the new Long Young level 10 Synchro, which we'll get to here. And Riser can also be summoned off Hulk, but it's good to just make sometimes if you know you're playing into a token-focused deck. The 1 Herald of the Arclight, not much to say there. 1 Iyazi, 1 Baxia, and 1 Xiaofeng. So a lot of the builds that are focusing more on the Rose Dragon and adventure stuff aren't running Xiaofeng. I like the inclusion. It's pretty solid. Sometimes you just need a level 9. I will be completely honest, I was looking for a Draco Berserker and just wasn't able to put one in the list, so this was the next best card for the 15th in the extra deck. And then Yazi and Baxia were MVPs today. They overperformed like crazy.
Yep.
And lastly, we got the 3 Swordsoul monsters. We have Chi Chao, Long Young, and Chang Ying. I'm sorry if I butchered any of those. Chi Chao's just an on-spot negate and a Rhoda. Totally okay as a card. Long Yan does a surprising amount of burn damage and gets you some extra draws. If you summon a Worm Synchro, which we're playing quite a few of, it gets you that extra draw. And then he's really good against the adventure stuff. You're able to banish out the continuous spell, that Faithful Adventure, and burn for 12. And you can also stop like a Hulk follow-up or an Auroradon follow-up with it. And last card in the extra, Baron. It was the all-star today. A lot of negates, a lot of popped cards. Even brought back a Griffin Rider during the standby phase after it spent its negate, and ended up having another Omni to get on my opponent's turn. So
nice.
Yeah, fun stuff. Lastly, I'll go over the side. It's probably the weakest part of my my deck building for this. I decided to run 3 Gamma. In my mind, there was a lot of bad matchups for Ogre and Moonlit Chill that Gamma just helps with if you're going second. Sometimes it's just a hard stop. Might change it out for Nib in the future, but it does come up as an E-Telly target to help make Hulk. The other 2, Token Collector, self-explanatory. And then because I couldn't make up my mind, I played 2 Troll and 2 Lancia today. It's hard to say. I don't know if I'd play 3 of one and none of the other, or 3 of the other and none of the other. So I think 2 and 2 is just fine. And then 2 Cosmic, 3 Lightning Storm for all the back row decks, because it is a Dakota's Regional and you play against a lot of back row decks. So having outs to that is good.
All right, sounds good. Anything you want to say before we close it out, or?
No, I I think I summed it up pretty well. So thank you so much for the deck profile.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you
it.
for the deck profile. Congrats on the top. Hopefully we see you again soon. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.